the 1970s, a decade largely remembered for questionable hairstyles, economic uncertainty, social upheaval and the Bee Gees. In rugby terms, however, it was the stage of one of the most controversial international sporting series in history, the 1974 Lions tour to South Africa. The 1974 squad became known as the Invincibles and is regarded as one of the best touring rugby teams in history.
In May 1974, the British and Irish Lions were to embark on a tour that would make them living rugby legends.
It is the beginning of an adventure.
In the cauldron of apartheid South Africa, in the glare of international publicity, they set out to prove themselves the greatest Lions team in history.
The first test, Newlands in Cape Town.
For the first test at Newlands, it became clear that sport and politics were inextricably linked in the eyes of South Africa's second-class citizens.
The referee for this first test match, Mr. Max Bays of Western Province, as the Lions in the person of Phil Bennett kick off.
We kicked off, they were playing with the wind, and I remember the Springboks actually took the lead. I'll never forget the reaction of the team, because to be 3-0 down wasn't what we had come for, and it literally lifted everybody.
A great roar from the home crowd. The scrummage 5 yards out from the Lions line. Picked up by du Plessis to Jan Ellis. Good ball for the Springboks. Snyman. He drops at goal and it's over. Darby Snyman judged his moment and the ball sailed between the posts. The Lions with the first three-man line out of the game. Long to Slattery at the back. The whistle goes and Snyman offside at that line out. Max Bays just making it clear to Hannes Murray, who doesn't like the decision, and Phil Bennett has a relatively easy chance to square the score. Bennett has got it. He puts his hands to his head. It was close, but it was good enough, and the Lions are all square. "15 minutes to go. The Lions at this moment leading 6 points to 3. Phil Bennett with the chance to put them 6 points clear. He struck it perfectly. That was over from the moment he touched it with his boot. The Newlands crowd really tense. Are they going to witness a Lions victory for the first time here since 1938? Edwards looks for the long drop at goal. He struck it beautifully and it sails through. JPR Williams raises his arms in triumph. Gareth Edwards sports a smile, and that's an all-important score because it means South Africa now must score at least twice. 12 points to 3. 1 minute of injury time now gone, and the whistle goes. The Lions leap in the air. Their joy unbounded, and rightly so. Their first win over South Africa in a test match here since 1938.
Yeah, I think obviously getting a win at Cape Town was vital, because I still think South Africa probably did expect to beat the Lions. But I mean, we'd gone unbeaten up to that point, and we had played well. We knew it was going to be a different ball game. But I think the fact that we got so much control in the muddy conditions, and I mean, really, we just defended very well.
Will you go, lassie, go, and we'll all go.
One of the things that we loved to do was sing in the bus, sing no matter where we go. We used to sing in the bus to the game. It was unbelievable. And Billy Steele was our choir master. In the second test, I remember we got on the bus and we went a bit of the way, and somebody said, "Okay, Billy, let's have it." And I remember Billy started singing the rousing song, and that really is where the Flower of Scotland came to prominence.
And we were only halfway through the song when we got to the stadium, and of course the bus stopped and the doors opened, and there was hundreds of people all there waiting for us, and nobody moved a muscle. We all sat there and sang right to the end of that song. Do you know, if you'd actually taken everyone out of that bus and taken us to Vietnam, we could have sorted out everything that was going on out there. The togetherness was incredible. But there was no attempt from anyone to stand up. And when we got off that bus and into that dressing room, we knew something special was going to happen that day.
Next up, the second test in Pretoria.
South Africa with two new men in the front row, Besaden Hoot at prop, opposite Fran Cotton, and Dave Fredrickson, the burly hooker. Edwards rolling for JJ Williams into the 25. Williams kicks it on, this could be a try! Williams has scored! That little chip through by Gareth Edwards really caught the Springbok defence by surprise. Williams got his boot as he chipped ahead, kicked it through, the bounce went his way, and JJ Williams has put the Lions ahead. Ian McCallum chasing his own kick, chipping through again, the crowd roar. Phil Bennett in his own 25, running out of defence. Great turn of speed and the jink inside. Bennett to McBride, to Mervyn Davies, to McBride again, to Gordon Brown, Gareth Edwards, to Roger Utley, but Utley just knocking the ball forward, but the referee says play on. JJ Williams, where's he come from? Williams, a yard to go, and he scored! What an incredible try for the Lions, and it all stemmed from Phil Bennett, well inside his own 25. Upfield he went, jinking, accelerating, and there was the forward support, McBride and Brown, Utley as well, and eventually to the hands of JJ Williams, and he became the first Lion to score 2 tries in a test in this century.
By half-time, the Lions were leading 10-3, and despite Bosch's kick, the South Africans were becoming increasingly frustrated at the prospect of another defeat.
Bosch. 10 points to 6, 2 minutes gone of the second half. Certainly the Springboks wasting some valuable possession at times. A long throw over the back, fed on to Jackie Snyman. Snyman inside to McDonald. Comes back on the Lions side to Slattery. Slattery with men outside him. Inside beautifully to Phil Bennett. Look at that acceleration. Bennett with Billy Steele. Bennett on his own. Bennett 5 yards short. He's going to score. Phil Bennett. What a solo effort. The Lions wheel it. Davies takes on Bayful. Mornay a long pass to Bosch. Bosch with Bennett at him. There's Bennett nailing his man, and Ian McCallum in desperation. Taken by Gareth Edwards. Edwards 5 yards short. Gordon Brown's scoring again. The Lions can't believe it. They throw their arms in the air. Real panic in the Springbok camp. And there it is. A 1 minute early the whistle goes, but really it makes no difference as the Lions win 28 points to 9 and beat South Africa so completely that the crowd here is stunned.
The Lions played some outstanding rugby, maybe highlighted by some outstanding tries from certain individuals. J.J. Williams chasing a long kick over the top from myself, with Phil Bennett scurrying and darting and sidestepping to score the most dramatic of tries. And maybe one which gave me a certain satisfaction, a wonderful try from the late Gordon Brown when he came up on the inside, and I'm not sure if he shouted to me in Welsh, but it sounded awfully like it, to pass inside to him when he scored in the second half to make the match secure for the Lions. It was quite an outstanding experience to win so comprehensively up on the high veld.
By now, the Lions were feeling invincible. Taking time out to go on safari before the third test, their superior collective spirit and team unity was seriously antagonising the beleaguered South Africans.
After the second test, which is a huge event, we're 2-0 up in the series. We can't be caught here. We can draw it at the very worst. So we go off to Kruger Park for 5 days rest. Well, it wasn't a rest, it was 5 days getting absolutely smashed. We stayed in these rendezvous and there was some great parties every night. Billy Steele started drinking with JPR on that trip to Kruger Park, and JPR could handle his beer, if I could say that thing by him.
Unfortunately, Billy took it a bit too literally because he didn't play in the second two tests, so you can imagine what sort of state we actually got him into.
JPR was to blame. That's bloody true, actually.
2-0 up, the Lions went on to the third test in Port Elizabeth.
But we wanted to finish off the job, and we knew to win the series 3-0 was everything. That's what we wanted. So it was down to Port Elizabeth, on the ground level, on sea level, a bit more grass on the field, so we could play a bit more rugby. And the usual story, the first half hour, just the usual battle. Everyone in there, 99s, and again, no step backwards, and again they lost the battle.
Those 20 minutes in that game, the physical commitment of the Springboks was just immense, and I would say that's the hardest 20 minutes of rugby I've ever experienced in my life. And all credit to the Springboks, but also all credit to the Lions, because we stuck it out, defended extremely well, and then the turning point was there was hell of a punch-up.
And again, these unpleasant scenes breaking out, both sides piling in, and some of the most appalling scenes one can ever have witnessed in a rugby test match. The 13th of July 1974, will this be a red letter day in British rugby history? 15 minutes gone. Irvine, a chance to level the scores for the Lions. It's long enough and it's straight enough. It seemed to hang in the air, but it got there, and the Lions are level. palm by Brown. Edwards just eluding Ellis. McGeechan to Milliken, out to JJ Williams. Williams showing a good turn of speed, flicks it back inside to JPR, 5 yards short to JJ Williams again. He's going to score under the post. JJ Williams, the Lions leap in the air, a magnificent try. Less than 4 minutes to go in this third test match. The Lions almost home in this historic victory. JPR Williams running out of defence, feeds Dick Milliken. He's got JJ Williams. JJ Williams chipping through, runs past Chris Pope. It's a race for the line. Will he get the bounce and the pick up? He's got it! JJ Williams has done it again. And that's it. The Lions leap in the air. They've done it. And there, the man that's led them, the Lions, to this first series win in South Africa since 1896. Willie John McBride being chaired off the field by Bobby Windsor and Gordon Brown.
Superb rugby, possibly the best rugby any Lions side has played under that sort of pressure. And we won this match 26-9, and it was fabulous rugby. And that, I think, was the peak of British rugby. 71 to New Zealand, and after the third test in Port Elizabeth, when we came off that field, we were the outright world champions, the British Lions of 74 and 71.
At the first sign of trouble, Captain McBride was heard to shout the order 99, and the Lions waded into battle.
The game erupts in an unpleasant manner in the centre of the field. It's the sort of thing that's been boiling up for most of this game. Mervyn Davies and Slattery try to separate the two factions.
Rumour has it that South African selectors had suggested to the Eastern Province players, we'd like to see what they're made of. I think they soon found out.
We felt that it was necessary to not be intimidated, as previous teams had been over there, so it seemed to work, but the end doesn't always justify the means.
We scored more tries, more points, more everything than any previous Lions tours. Now, you don't do that if you're a sort of dirty team, ill-disciplined team. You don't do that, because the game of rugby football, to play it well, you've got to be disciplined. And I think we played it well.
We had to take the law into our own hands. We had to show the opposition that they couldn't punch us and kick us and hack us at any time they wanted, and they were allowed to do it. So we had to have this unity, so that on the call, on the nod, or if one of us get into trouble, everyone would get stuck in, and it sorted the trouble out.
JPR Williams underneath, caught that majestically. But it's the ball they want. And it breaks out again. Max Bayes tries to calm it down.
It was a very hard-fought game. I had incidents where the Springboks kicked on JPR Williams. Then Willie John came up to me and he said to me, if these, I won't use the word, don't stop, they're nonsense. He said to me, Max, you'll have a ride on your hands.
There's been a lot made of the 99 call. And I remember saying to the referee, you know, look, if you don't sort this out, we'll sort it out.
The fists break out.
And I'll never forget it, because he sort of shrugged his shoulders and let's get on with the game. And I thought, well, I'm not having this. And that's when I called the players in and I said, right, guys, when I call 99, we sort this out together, all of us. There were a few guys, there was one or two of them a bit hesitant. But, you know, we had no more trouble.
There wasn't, I can't remember anyone shouting 99.
As one of those Lions, Bobby Windsor used to say, he thought that 99 was a cornet with a chocolate in it.
Well, I think it's a lot of old bull, to be honest with you.
I think the opposition are more worried about the call 99.
If anything comes our way, it's got to go back with knobs on.
What was actually going to happen to them?
I'm pretty glad it's not in use today, because I don't think I could do something like that. Scott Gibbs might like it, might.
JPR used to drive me nuts because he'd love to come from full back and take me if there was ever a skirmish or a fight he wanted to come back.
JPR's running in from full back to join in because he liked a bit of the old physical stuff.
The ball buried, the fist break out.
The third test, Willie John called it once, and Gareth Edwards and Phil Bennett and I were going that way, only to see JPR passing us at great knots going this way.
Yes, it's all rather embarrassing now, 25 years later.
And if we call a line-out signal, and was that a 99? Oh, no, John, it's okay, it's only a line-out.
Sprinting 40 yards from the back to punch one of the big Springbok forwards.
And really, this is a giant free-for-all, fitting more for the boxing ring.
We only did this once or twice, and the sort of news travelled, and you said, you know, don't mess around with these guys, because they're not going to take it. And when I look back now, it maybe wasn't very pretty, but it sorted out a lot of problems that the referee wasn't sorting out. So, but there's been a lot made of it. As I say, we didn't use it any more than 2 or 3 times in 22 games. So, and you know, when you look back to '74, we scored more points, more tries than any other Lions.
The fist break out. And really, this is a giant free-for-all, fitting more for the boxing ring.
Well, I think there'd always been an attitude from the Springboks that the British Lions had had talented sides previously, but that perhaps when the going got tough, a few of them would, inverted commas, bottle out. And I think that message came over fairly strongly to them that this Lions side was a bit different and they weren't going to be intimidated.
The fourth test, you know, the fourth test, the last test, is always the difficult one. And there's so much expected of us now. And it was even more difficult in '74 for the simple reason that we'd won the 3. We'd done it. The only thing for us was to be unbeaten. That's all we had to reach. So it was going to be a tough day. They had made a few changes. And you know, it was, again, in Johannesburg, all the shoot. The end of a tour, there's 15 guys have finished. It's tough, and the 15 guys still have to play a test match. So it was going to be a tough day, and we didn't play as well as we played in the other test.
This is second test of the series, Bayfels. Oh, and it's a wild pass from Bayfel. And the try given to the Lions. And it's Roger Utley, the man with the touchdown. Edwards. Edwards goes blind, he's got Irvin outside, he's over! Irvin, really, that was such a simple try. The crowd come alive once more, knowing South Africa are still within 4 points of the Lions, wanting restore some pride to their tarnished image. Palm by Grobler, fed on by Ellis. That's Slaybush to Boet. Pope handing off and going for the corner, but he's got to get through John Williams. The feed inside, picked up by Cronje. And the try is awarded. The first try South Africa have scored in this test series. The crowd go wild. The Springboks draw level. Surely one of the most important kicks in his rugby career. The hushed crowd. The kick by Snyman. It's straight, it's over. And South Africa go into the lead 13 points to 10, South Africa lead. What a kick this for young Andy Irvine. He's missed it. He's not. It looked to go left of the post, but it was straight. And the Lions draw level. All square in the dying moments of this final test of the 1974 tour. Can the Lions stay unbeaten?
The match, of course, ended as a draw, but controversially as a draw, because there is no doubt in my mind that Fergus Slattery scored a perfectly legitimate try in the dying seconds of the game, only for the referee Max Bayes to disallow it by saying that Fergus hadn't actually grounded the ball. And we couldn't believe that it had not been given.
13 points, all the score. Edwards to Bennett, to McGeechan, to Milliken, JPR Williams in the line. Williams still going. Williams cutting his way through. 5 yards short to Slattery. Slattery could score. Slattery must be there. They wait the decision of the referee. Slattery surely was over. They can't believe it. I can't believe it.
But anyway, the Test series had been won. We were still unbeaten in South Africa, although we would have loved to have won every match. It was not to be.
We'd been in that situation on at least 2, if not 3 occasions where clock was running down and we had to score to win. So we were in a similar situation in that 4th test, and we knew we had to score. And I think we knew we would score.
Can they just conjure one out of the bag like they did against the Orange Free State?
And the ball broke and went across the line through Gareth and to Benny, and Benny to, I think, to Ian McGeechan, who popped it to JPR Williams.
To McGeechan, to Milliken, JPR Williams in the line.
I remember making quite a good break, I think, and passing on to Fergus Slattery.
Williams cutting his way through. 5 yards short to Slattery. Slattery could score.
JPR Williams ran quite close to the line and he turned.
And I thought it was definitely going to be a try.
And I actually had to slow down to take the ball. And in doing that, it gave Peter Cronje maybe the opportunity to stop me.
I thought, well, going low, he's going to fall over the line anyway. So I thought the only way was to tackle him high and sort of pull him down on top of me, which I duly did.
So we both went onto the deck over the line, and the rest is history.
The referee had done a couple of test matches and had been very, very good. I think he thought, well, I'm going to live in South Africa when these buggers have gone home, you know. So he thought, I'll call this a draw and everybody will be happy, and he sort of blew the whistle immediately after, seconds later. But I was convinced it was a try.